everyone! Welcome to part 2 of Halloween Party. I hope you enjoyed the first part, and here comes the second part, which I of course hope you will enjoy, perhaps even a little bit more. Content warning is in the description, so check that out and let's get into it. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who subscribe and watch these videos. You're keeping this channel alive and going. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy. Well, hello there. Haven't seen you around yet. Kunimi whined inwardly, his mind racing to figure out the fastest way to get out of the conversation. Under any other circumstances, he would probably entertain a short talk, but for whatever reason, the man gave him creeps just by standing nearby. He turned back to the food, hoping the other would take the hint and go away. Did you come in later? I'm sure I would remember a cutie like you. Oh god. Yes, we came in a bit later. The drinks apparently forgotten, the man leaned on the counter into what Kunimi thought was supposed to be a seductive pose, giving him a crooked smirk. Pity. Would love to meet you sooner. What do you say? Can I get you a drink? Kunimi took a step back as the man walked into his personal space, trying to keep some distance between them. Even with that though, he could still smell the man's breath reeking of the cheap beer, the knowledge setting off even more alarm bells in his mind. No, thank you. I don't drink. And I'm not alone. Then what about the dance? I'm a good dancer, I promise. Somehow, Kunimi highly doubted that was true, even without the alcohol in his blood. He took yet another step back, looking around to find an escape route. Again, no thank you. Now please excuse me. He tried to slip around the man and away to hopefully disappear in the crowd of other costumes, but then his breath hitched when a large hand grabbed his wrist. Oh come on, don't be a prude. We are supposed to have fun. I'm here with someone already. I'm not interested. He tore his hand out of the man's grasp, and with his heart beating wildly, he sped up to leave the stranger as far away behind him as possible. He let out a shaky breath when he somehow made his way through the crowd without an incident, and finally reached the upper floor, far away from the booming music, and hopefully from other unwanted advances too. This was exactly why he hated parties. Everyone was too relaxed for their own good, be it because of alcohol or the dark. Either way, he hated it to his very core. I hope you isn't a mess already. Someone has to drive. He dismissed the nagging voice in his head telling him to go find Kindaichi to ask him to go home, and closed himself into one of the rooms, muffling the music on a much more pleasant level. Damn this all. Stupid Halloween parties. Taking another stabilizing breath, he slumped on a nearby chair, immediately missing the easy access to food. He would kill to get some more sugar into his blood right now. But if sacrificing snacks meant he was going to be left alone, so be it. However, not even a minute later, the door no less than flew open again. Kunimi barely restrained himself from yelping out loud from both the startle and the sight of the man's smile. Why did you run away from me? I just want to have a nice chat. Kunimi was sure he never moved as fast as in that moment. He jumped up from the chair, his heart pounding in his ears when he realized he was pretty much backed into a corner in the room, with the only escape path blocked. He tried to keep his fright at bay and expression even, but if he could judge by the almost wolfish grin spreading over the other's face, he wasn't successful. Please leave me alone. I'm not interested in talking to you, now or ever. But why? I'm a nice guy, I promise. If you were, you wouldn't follow me here after I told you I'm not interested. Even if my fiancé wasn't here with me, I wouldn't want to chat after that. Now, please leave me alone. Once again, he rushed to get around the man and out of the room to escape and hopefully find Kindaichi. However, he wasn't even a step from the door when a hand grabbed the back of his lab coat and threw him stumbling back into the room. He hissed when his back and head collided with the wardrobe, the force of the impact knocking air out of his lungs for a second and sending him to the floor coughing. The room swayed with him as he tried to catch his stolen breath, his heart stopping for a beat when he heard the hollow thumps of the footsteps getting close to him. He managed to scramble to his feet, the sense of incoming danger pumping fright into his body and fueling his movement to move faster, to get away. He didn't get but a few wobbly steps ahead, however, before he got yanked to the side by his wrist again, both his breath and voice getting caught in his throat tightened by the man's hand. Want me to catch you, eh? I kinda like that. Kunimi's stomach rolled when the rough thumb brushed against his lower lip in a twisted mirror of Kindaichi's gesture. He jerked his head back to get the nasty hand from his face, using his free hand to push the other away. Let go of me! His relative freedom was cut short when an arm wrapped around his waist, pulling him closer until their chests touched. No can do. Not when I finally caught you, little fishy. Desperate, Kunimi pushed harder against the man's ribs, trying to find any soft spot he could hit to break the iron grip holding him in place. The other just laughed, apparently finding amusement in Kunimi's struggle, his arms clearly stronger than anything Kunimi could muster. Don't be such a coy. Your fiancé doesn't even have to know who had some extra fun. Gathering everything he had, Kunimi freed his arm again and took a swing at the man's head. The hit wasn't the strongest, but apparently good enough to surprise him and to allow Kunimi to tear himself out of the other's grasp. He didn't wait for anything and bolted out of the room, but the prepared cry for help turned into a choked huff when he got slammed against the wall with perhaps even more force than before. Wanna play it hard, eh? Well, I can do that too. Tears of despair and pain entered Kunimi's eyes, blurring his vision. He tried to cry out, but the words refused to form, coming out only as a barely hearable whimper, which only fueled his despair. There are so many people here and no one sees anything. Why? Why? You, help, please. He squeezed his eyes shut, preparing for the worst after he was about to be inevitably thrown back into the room. But instead, he merely stumbled a bit backwards and then got caught by a pair of strong, long arms that immediately steered him behind someone's back. Are you okay? Haki! His knees buckled under him when he recognized Kindaichi's voice over the music, same as the touch of his calloused hand against his cheek. He looked a bit up, his vision blurring even more. The eyes he knew so well were watching him filled with worry and the usual gentleness, but there was a glint of fire Kunimi wasn't sure if he wanted to know the name of. He only managed to nod and then clung to Kindaichi's shirt, only now realizing how much his hands were trembling. Okay, stay behind me. I'm with you, it's okay now. What the fuck, man? Don't you see we are talking? Kindaichi tensed and bared his teeth, his voice coming out more like a growl than a human speech. Talking? You call that talking? You just assaulted him, you piece of shit! He got a short snort in answer as the other crossed his arms over his chest, leaning into an almost challenging pose. Why would you care, huh? Because he's my fiancé and you just touched him against his will. That's called assault. The man sneered. Fiancé, eh? You should guard him better then, because he was the one who started. All right under your nose. You. He didn't get further. A strange, wet crack echoed through the hallway, and then the man's limp body crumbled to the floor. Kindaichi let out an actual, monster-like growl as he flexed his hand a few times. Like hell he did. You. The dark shadow was immediately gone from Kindaichi's eyes. He cradled Kunime's face, his brows crunched with concern. Are you okay? Did he do anything too? I swear I will kill him if he did. No, it's fine. Some of the tension disappeared from Kindaichi's shoulders. He took Kunime's hand in his, gently tugging him towards the staircase. Come on, let's get out of here. But that guy is... Don't worry about him. He will be fine if I never see him again. Come on. They made their way through the crowd of already half-drunken dancing people to the small group gathered around the captain and host, who all paused upon spotting them. Did something happen? Yes, we are going home. Oh, but why? What's wrong? Ask that guy upstairs after he wakes up, and tell him that if I ever see him again, I'll break all of his bones and then some more. The captain's eyebrows knitted together in confusion. Then, understanding flashed over his face when his gaze fell on Kunime, and his expression hardened. Understood. I'll take care of it, no worries. Sorry about that. Not your fault. Take care. With that, he tugged on Kunime's hand again, and wrapping his arm around his shoulders, he led him to the main door and outside to their car. Kunime kept quiet the whole time, only whispering a few sorries when he accidentally bumped into the people around, worried he might snap the thin line Kindaichi's temper seemed to hang on to. He's upset. He's angry and it's your fault. If you weren't stupid. I had it under control. Kindaichi halted mid-step. Huh? You didn't have to bother. I had it under control. If you just gave me enough time to deal with it, I would... His voice came out sounding more desperate than convincing, but he couldn't otherwise. He could see Kindaichi was mad, and he was the cause of it. If he had just been stronger, more assertive, nothing would have happened. He wanted nothing more than to scratch his skin until it bled to get rid of the crawling feeling. But Kindaichi was mad at him, for sure, for allowing someone else to touch him, so he couldn't. He had to. He didn't notice how weak his legs were until he was engulfed in a tight embrace of Kindaichi's arms and he slammed against his chest. His vision hazed again, but this time he couldn't stop the tears from rolling freely down his cheeks as he clung to his rock, his fiancée, while Kindaichi gently rubbed his back. Shh, 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 shh. It's okay. You don't have to pretend anything. It's fine. I'm not. Aki, I'm not blind. I know you were scared, and that's fine. You don't have to be ashamed for that. But you are angry, aren't you? I'm sorry. I tried. I know. I'm sure you fought back with everything you have. I'm not mad at you, at all. I'm mad at that fucker for what he did to you. And at myself that it took me so long to help you. Kunime sniffed, hiding his face deeper into Kindaichi's shoulder. Kindaichi didn't seem to mind his shirt getting soaked and even pulled him closer, leaving a kiss on the top of his head. Let's go home. You want a shower, don't you? Nodding, Kunime reluctantly let go of Kindaichi's shirt, but not of his hand, hissing when Kindaichi took hold of his wrist. Sorry. Does it hurt too bad? It might bruise. His stomach rolled, the urge to throw up stopping him mid-sentence. But Kindaichi understood, just like he always did when things got bad. He pressed a light kiss on the wrist, the gentle massage from his thumb soothing some of the painful throbbing in the joint. I'll get you some ice on it when we get home. Hopefully it won't swell too much. He threw one last glare towards the house before he carefully entwined their fingers together. Kunimi all but slumped against his side, letting him lead the way to their car. His legs were still a bit wobbly under him, but a solid presence next to him served as a reminder he had nothing to be scared of anymore, not even of falling. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know I'm kinda repeating the old theme in this, but as I said, this is an idea I had almost 2 years ago, so I guess that's an excuse to use that again. And also it kinda fitted the theme, I would say, when I was thinking about what to do for each prompt. So why not? Don't forget to leave the comment if you enjoyed the video. I would be very happy for that. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.